Hello, my name is Clifford. I'm a tattooer from Singapore Electric by Give Me Love Tattoo. To be honest, I did not realize that it was my calling. I've always thought that the tattoo community growing up was a community that was very closed up. I thought that it would be almost impossible to get a foot in the door. I never considered being a tattoo artist. And then when I started getting like tattoos and Lionel offered me the apprenticeship, I still did not, it wasn't real to me yet at that point of time. I didn't think that, I wasn't sure whether I could make the cut. And I guess he gave me the confidence and he showed me that, hey, from somebody that couldn't really draw to 6 months later and the amount of progress that I've made, you could actually do this. And then I realized, I think when I did like my first tattoo, that I don't think I want to do anything else other than this. Definitely no regrets, best job ever. I spent a lot of time watching television, and one of the most impactful things that I've seen was probably like a music video of the band Blink-182. And when I was like in primary school, that was like the craziest thing I've ever seen, because it's like Travis Barker is like heavily covered in tattoos. They're playing music that is very energetic, that is very filled with angst, that I could definitely it resonated with me very well. So I guess apart from tattooing and visual art on its own, music has always been like a very big part of my life as well. I would say currently my favorite tattoo on me is on my neck. Yeah, this one done by Augustine. Definitely this is a favorite piece of mine because of just technically how well it's done. It's a piece that got a lot of attention even on a global scale, I guess. Honestly, there was no story behind it. Like, I really wanted something on my neck. I asked him what he wanted to do. Is there something that he hasn't tried yet? And he said, I haven't actually tried doing a frontal-facing phoenix on somebody's neck. So he tried it. I mean, if there's anything interesting about it, was all the stuff over here on my face wasn't exactly planned. I told him I wanted a neck piece, and then halfway he was like, I think that it would look nicer with a little bit of spikes. And then he just went on my face, and then I was like, oh shit. And then I looked in the mirror, I was like, well, I guess you have to do the other side now. So yeah, but yeah, no regrets. Like 10 years ago, I guess consider it still recent times, tattooing has flourished with shows like Miami Ink and all that. And I think that gave a lot of people the idea that your tattoos have to have a ton of meaning. And we tattoo artists are not just tattooers, we are like people that can translate your life or your story into something. But I think that people should just get that idea out of their heads because we are predominantly a service provider. Okay, you need to come up with your idea and then we deliver your idea. Or if we think that your idea could be elevated to a higher level, or it could be done better in another direction, then we provide you that solution. But fundamentally, I think that you as a receiver of the tattoo and the person that is carrying the tattoo for the rest of your life, you have to come up with that idea yourself, because a tattoo is something that is deeply personal. It doesn't need to have meaning. Just do whatever you think looks nice. It's a visual form of art. Yeah. I think that a lot of people, especially I guess younger people, they come into tattooing thinking they can revolutionize tattoo. Like maybe you look at certain, like for example, you look at like a Japanese tattoo and then you think, that looks very, I guess for lack of a better word, very abbing. Or you look at like old school American traditional tattoos and you think, hey, that looks very basic and very simple. I'm gonna come into the industry and I'm gonna bring something new to the table. It's good to have ambition, but the truth is a lot of things have already been tried in tattooing, and tattooing is different from all types of visual art because we're working with organic material, we're working with skin. Whatever you do on paper stays that way forever, but whatever you do on skin goes through natural wear and tear and aging. So throughout history, a lot of the older tattooers have tried different things, like now you've probably seen a lot of tattooers that do like ultra faint like details or ultra fine lines, or like hyper realistic stuff with like 50 different shades of a certain color. You know, it looks very nice and it's technically excellent and very well done, but the reality is that some of these details don't really last that well, you know. So I guess it's just different schools of thought, you know. If you think that a tattoo should look the same way that it did when it's fresh for the rest of your life, then stick to traditions. Traditions are there for a reason, you know. Old school American traditional tattooing, old school Japanese tattooing is still alive today for a very good reason. I guess in a nutshell, my style is just like black work. I do a lot of black work, a lot of lines. I play a lot of stippling, dot work, and my style was formed because I grew up, you know, and then I listened to a lot of bands, and a lot of the bands had certain imagery that looked very, I guess, emotive, I guess, you know, and the style resonated a lot with movies that I used to watch as well growing up, like Tim Burton movies. You know, Nightmare Before Christmas, the art direction in that resonated a lot with me. I don't know, it just looked very quirky and very out of this world, something different, and it attracted my attention. And then from there I delved deeper into like more like older drawings, like stuff that you find out of like old medical journals and old botany books, stuff like that. And so I think a lot of my style is basically on that. But right now, with that being the foundation, I'm trying to incorporate more Oriental influences, because I feel that as an Asian person, that I should play to my strengths and pay homage to my heritage. And I'm always a big fan of Oriental imagery, so I'm incorporating that into my work as well. If you delve deeper into film, you realize that there's certain imagery that for some reason resonates very well with you. You take that, you apply it in tattooing, and you know, you got yourself a very nice piece of visual art. Like, for example, Hayao Miyazaki, you know, he's probably, in my opinion, the greatest like animator of all time. The way he uses these traditional, some of them are very traditional Japanese imagery that's not new per se, but the way he put them just makes you feel, the way he puts them in his movies, you just feel a certain way when you look at them, either happy or like intrigued, you know. And then as an artist, I ask myself, why do I feel that way? Or like, for example, film directors like Wes Anderson, you know, he's not doing anything that is like crazy like a crazy spectacle or anything, but when I look at his movies, it just seems very pleasing. And then the more I look into it, then I realize that, hey, actually every one of his shots is like a square, you know, and every one of his shots is almost symmetrical, you know. And I don't realize that, and I'm like, hey, for some reason that makes me feel good, you know. Things like designer toys. I love designer toys, and a lot of very good ideas that these like toy makers are coming up with that provide me with a lot of inspiration as well. And I guess fashion is also headed in a very cool direction as well, you know. But yeah, in terms of what resonates with what I do a lot, I would say, yeah, designer toys are really influencing me, and I would not have been exposed to like the wealth of designer toy knowledge that I have right now if not for like street culture events, you know, like, you know, the culture cartel event and all that. Yeah, there's different schools of thought, I guess, you know. One is, I'm glad that it is, you know, accessible to everybody, but you know, for the purists, they would say that it's all watered down now, right? You know, I guess it depends how you look at it. You know, like, sometimes I am inclined to agree and sometimes I'm not. Like, when I grew up, when I saw somebody with a tattoo, right, it was considered something that was rare, especially like a large scale tattoo. And then it turned heads, and that's what makes tattooing so special, right? You know, it is the boldest statement you can make. You are saying that you want to be separated from the mainstream, you know. You want people to outrightly look at you and, okay, see that there's something about you that, you know, it's very animalistic. It's like the animal kingdom, right? You know, animals that are very colorful are animals you stay away from because they are poisonous, right? You know, so it's the same thing with tattoos as well. But then right now, you know, everybody has a tattoo. You know, you don't turn your head anymore if you see somebody with a tattoo. Maybe if, you know, they've got like their whole face, yes, you know, maybe. So like right now you see like people are getting more and more extreme tattoos. Like rappers now tattoo their face like it's nothing, you know. Yeah, like Post Malone's face is just like scribbles and stuff, right? You know, so yeah, like, I guess it's their kids and the youth are still trying to push the boundaries, even though now it's still so common, you know. So it's interesting to see what comes out next. When it comes to expressing yourself, I think it's good to take risks, because like what I noticed over the years of tattooing is that sometimes I have a certain idea and I know that it's either not been done or not many people in Singapore have done it yet, and I spend months trying to get people to get on board with the idea, and after one person decides to do it, then like 10 other people will go and do it. I notice that trend happens, so why not be that one guy that starts the trend, you know? Just take a risk, you know, don't do something that everybody has. I'm like super 100% like supportive of anything Singaporean. So like in terms of the Singapore tattoo community, no bias or anything. I think it is like a thriving community, and it's a force to be reckoned with lah. I mean, Southeast Asia is such a small country. We produce so many great tattooers. You know, tattooers that can hold their own on any global platform. So I think that we have a very, very good tattoo community in Singapore. There is still a lot of potential to even get bigger. Anyway, I've never personally owned one of these. I mean, I've heard a bit about how good this product is and how it can maintain the temperature of whatever you place inside. I guess immediately the first thing that came to my head, right, was coffee. I don't know why. I don't drink coffee, but I do know that coffee is like a big part of Singapore culture, you know, and like a lot of people are like, it's the fuel for a lot of people, right? So my design was based off that. So like incorporating like very, very obvious tattoo style. I did like a very oriental inspired like lion's paw. I mean, it's supposed to be a lion's paw. It's done sort of like in an oriental style with a little bit of my kind of touch to it, and it's holding a coffee bag. Yeah, tapao kopi. Yeah, I mean, I think it turned out great. I wasn't sure how this engraving thing was gonna look, and I think that, you know, overall it looks like a pretty cool design. Yeah, I mean, if I were to get one of these, I'll probably get this one. Again, I'm Clifford Wong. I'm a tattooer from Singapore Electric. This is my design for the Culture Cartel collab with Hydro Flask. If you're interested to get this, it will be released on National Day, Singapore's National Day, and you can head on over to Culture Cartel's social media platforms to see how you can purchase one of your own.